All right, so welcome back, and that was flood alert plan. Thank you so much, and we're back to the studio now, and of course, I have with me the CEO Pathway Newspapers. Yes, the publisher of Pathway Newspaper, Victor Ucheka. Good morning.
Good morning, welcome.
I like your black, like everywhere, black.
You find something important to do, but that is
Oh,
Tell me, tell us.
hope you didn't lose somebody.
no.
Oh, okay.
It's a celebration.
Celebration.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Okay, maybe you tell us when we want to wrap
Behind the scene, oh. Okay.
We need to celebrate. We need to celebrate. I'm in the mood. Like I need to celebrate.
Yes, so.
So, all right. So we're going to be looking. Firstly, let's look at the Vanguard newspaper, and then Chizzy will take on another one,
Yeah.
and then we'll just do it, just three, and we'll come back to our analyst here in the studio. All right. On the Vanguard newspaper this morning, as they hot, please arrest PFIPC DG's dad, family, friend in Ogbomosho. Oyo Police Command says FCID Force Headquarters Abuja effected arrest. Residents confirm arrest as well. And PFIPC has no CBN account. OAGF clarifies. Okay. Away from that now, we have there's so many related news about that. But let's leave it there. We also have alleged anti-media practices. FG orders FCCPC to probe X, Meta, and AI companies. NGE to host 4th Lateef Jakonde Memorial Lecture July 23. 2027, activists seeking political offices cannot make any difference. This is coming from Shegalink. And cartoon, Mr. President can tell Esau from Jacob. Kenya, please ban march on protest anniversary. A Kenyan journalist escapes abduction after criticism of President CPJ. 2027, Atiku has to wait till 2031. It is not enough time now. Ali Modu Sheriff. Dollar to Naira exchange rate, you can find it on the soft copy of the Vanguard newspaper today. And Belgium trash USA. 4-1 set of Spain shut down. And recapitalization, companies with outstanding claims will not be relicensed, say NICOM. Federal government incurs 358.3 billion naira electricity subsidy in Q1 NEC. That's it on the Vanguard newspaper this morning.
All right, with me here is the Punch newspaper. And the first big headline we have here, fake agency scandal, presidency under pressure as police arrest Adeyemi's father. Moving on, we have this one, UBA names Norom chairman as Elumelu exits board. Wow. Okay, and in business, marketers push 800 naira per liter petrol, seek import licenses. And this one here says first remembrance prayers for Buhari holds on Monday. Another one here says all 3 World Cup co-hosts eliminated from tournaments. And lastly, Ronaldo, Neymar, Nora, other stars playing their last World Cup. That was what I was asking you.
Yeah, last World Cup.
Last World Cup.
Yeah.
Wish them well.
Wish them well. Okay, away from that, let's look at the Guardian newspaper. NYSC, the destruction of a faulty. Okay. The destruction of a faulty reform. Campaigners urge federal government to halt oil well approvals, prioritize non-oil sectors. And we have federal government defense removal of FCTA from TSA, investment in justice sector infrastructure. We have ADC Guba candidate unveils 14-point agenda in Delta. Police alert Rivers residents on planned destruction of expired explosives. ADC accuses federal government of pushing 17 million Nigerians into acute hunger. And we also have 25 died, 23 injured in Kwara, Ibadan, Lagos Express auctions, impersonating officials. In court finds ATB or Artbooth 10.2 million naira for negligence 6 years after patient's death. Police summon secret reporters publisher over alleged cybercrime as journalist remains in custody. Federal government to build drainage service roads along coastal highway. Lastly, police launch manhunt for 4 over Ibadan killing. Right, that's it on yes, on the Guardian newspaper this morning. Or rather, there's one story that I also want to mention. 50,000 naira per bag. That's talking about cement, the bar cement. Despite glut, local cement price nearly doubles Africa's average. Yes,
Sad.
that's it on the Guardian. Any
Yes.
other?
No, you said we're taking
Okay, we're taking
three
three
dailies. Yes.
Okay, so back to the studio now. We'll begin with the very suspicious saga that involves Femi Gbajabiamila and other big actors, political actors in our country. And the Vanguard captures it here as police arrest PFIPC DG's dad, family friend in Ogbomosho. And I read that story. The police have arrested the father, the family friend of embattled Director General of the purported Presidential Economic Advisory Council / the Presidential Foreign Intervention Promotion Council, Adeyemi Adeniyi in Osogbo, Oyo State. Recall that Adeniyi had gone into hiding following revelations that he had allegedly scammed the federal government through the creation of a fake presidential council. Fake presidential council, not fake local government council.
Yeah.
I think we have to go back to how all these things emerged. Like what the young man said there, he said that the appointment was paid for. So we have to start from there. I was discussing with somebody, I said, look, we have to look at the stages of this situation so that we can be able to understand it clearly.
Right.
First, how did you get the appointment letter you paid for? In every appointment, the appointment letter does not come from the office of the chief of staff to the president or the chief of staff to the governor. The appointment of every DG or any political appointment comes from the office of the secretary to the state or office of the secretary to the government of the federation. And the young man claimed that his appointment was effected by the office of the chief of staff, which I believe may be lie. The reason is that the chief of staff is not statutory duty of the chief of staff to sign an appointment letter. In any political appointment, federal level for the chief of staff to sign appointment letter. Secondly, we have to look at who this money paid to. You know, if you have an account, your BVN is there, your NIN is there.
It's obvious.
And it's obvious.
Yes.
There is no way money, 400 million, can go through an account without a trace. So we have to look at who is the end receiver of
Who
this
received
money.
the money?
Yes, because if we are investigating kidnappers, for instance, maybe POS lady is captured that they use your POS for to receive kidnapping fund. We must get to the end point. This money was sent from my POS to this account. Then we'll get there. Now, who received this 400 million? And who is the end receiver? Because people are alleging that it may be that the chief of staff nominates somebody to receive the money on Prozi on his behalf. If yes, that is the truth, let us see who is the end receiver. Because if I'm using you, for instance, as an IFI to receive money on my behalf, maybe you will pull it in cash to me, or you send it to a bureau de change to get $1 to give to me. During all this transaction period, there must be a conversation. And through your phone conversation, we can get where you are speaking with the chief of staff. That's sir, the money has been paid. Oh, how am I going to go about it? I was in one of the mechanic village some time ago. I was listening to a conversation between two my colleagues. So a call came in. The man said, "Ah, my boss, they call me." The guy said, "How is your boss? Did you fix his car?" I said, "No." He said that the man has this business that they done with the state government. That anytime the man, after the business, the man will send the money to his own account. Then he will not send the man will say, okay, if it is 3 million, the man will say, okay, take 300,000. That the man gives him 10% of the total sum. He say, okay, inside this remaining 2.7 million, send 2 million to this account, withdraw 500,000 in cash, and meet me in so place. If you want to capture this kind of person, you have a trace already. The person is sending the balance and where he's taking the cash to. Okay, if we are meeting in hotel, for instance, you can still reconvene that meeting. So, okay, you are the one that received them. Tell them that you want to see them again. You will get them. And secondly, the area we have to look at, how did this young man get the office space? Because I believe, the seal of the president and the office space in the federal secretariat. I cannot live now. I have my private office. I cannot wake up in the morning and go to
government house.
Government house and have an office because I'm a publisher or I have a real estate company. I'll go to state Ministry of Housing and create my office without due allocation. And the young man said there was a letter from the what is it called? The civil service that they have 300 staffs. How can you get 300? Even in Delta State, for instance, let's take Delta State, for instance, before you can get staffs from the office of the heads of service,
it goes through processes.
You must go through process. Yes. And there is no way you can go through this process without the governor being aware. Even the secretary to the state government must be aware of all this situation. Let's take it from another angle that this man is a fraudster. But there are people who are insider that aid his crime. There is no way you can commit crime without having people who will aid your crime. An insider that will aid your crime. So we are looking at three perspectives. Okay, let's look at the office of chief of staff, for instance, and we look at the office of the secretary to the government of the federation, and look at the head of service, office of the head of service. These are the three areas that I wish that the state government, the federal government, the security agencies should investigate so that we can unravel how all these processes is being carried out. Because there is no way a man, and okay, now the young man have hosted international organization, diplomats that he hosted them. Some he hosts them in Abuja, some he hosts them in Lagos. There is no way you can go to, I can now write later and send to an embassy in Brazil that I want to have economic advisory meeting with them to tell them the potential of the federal government and what we can be able to do if they come to invest, the return of their investment and all of that, without the approval of the state government or the federal government. So I think there is something hidden, and to hide the shame, I think that is why the young man, and he made a statement that because he refused to pay 48% of the kickoff, the 20-something billion, the 24-point-something billion for their kickoff of the agency, that he refused to pay the 48%. And that is the reason why they are claiming that the agency is fake. Okay. And now, how did this agency get to our national budget? Somebody was saying it in one of the clips I watched on social media, that if we can probe the federal government agency, we will find out that there are more than 50 agencies that are still existing in this kind of situation. That is to say, this is one of the loophole the power the cabals use in what? In leaking our resources.
Okay, sir. Let's now talk about, because now we've talked about Adeyemi. Let's now talk about the trauma that this has caused his family, because NBA and SANS has also reacted, and I'll read it out to you. It says, Adeyemi's father's arrest triggers fresh legal and human rights concerns with the president of the National Bar Association, Mazi Afam Asikwe San, another senior advocate of Nigeria, warning that Nigeria's law does not permit the arrest of relatives merely to compel a suspect to surrender or assist investigators. Now, the senior lawyers, however, maintain that the arrest would be lawful if Adeyemi's father was himself a suspect or a person of interest in the investigation.
Yes.
Now, this arrest has left Adeyemi's mother traumatized, because, describing how they came with 4 vehicles, got into the house and picked the man. Now, this is a case of the abnormal now becoming the norm, because this can happen to anybody. We might not see it as anything because it happened to somebody, but it can happen to anybody.
Yes.
Is it right?
No, I think constitutionally is not right. And I believe that this nation, there are processes that sometimes is, well, let me use a tactical way of investigation.
Yes.
I think if the federal government decide that it's only through his father that the young man can come out from his side, well, I think they should not allow the man to be there for long. The reason is that if a signature or an information, maybe in terms of fund transfer and all of that, is linked to his father, maybe that is the reason why they have arrested him. Because you see some persons, when they commit crime, they try to use their mother as the end point of the receiving of the funds. Like in terms of fraudsters, you see some of the fraudsters will tell you, this vehicle I'm driving is my mom's home, is my dad's home. But when you investigate, the funds was actually from the proceeds of the fraud they commit. So maybe that is why the father was actually arrested. So we'll wait for the security agency to give us the outcome of their investigation, because through their investigation we will understand what prompted the arrest of the father. Yes, because there is no way you can arrest somebody else in a crime.
Or the crime of another person, exactly. Yes.
It's not lawful.
Yes.
So if the federal government, maybe probably during the investigation, because we understand that it has been long that this investigation has been going on. Yes, that they have written to the DSS to investigate that agency. That through the investigation, they are going to understand that this agency is actually not in existence. That it's just a scam. That is why they make it publicly. That the investigation have, like what the spokesman to the president said, that the investigations have been going on for more than 6 months before they make it publicly that this agency is not existing agency, that anybody that is doing business with this agency is on its own, not emanating from the federal government. So we are pleading with the security agencies, due diligence, because I understand that a crime of one person can also affect somebody else, but that is not a norm according to the constitution.
Should we not now believe that the structure itself is faulty?
Yes,
because how does somebody get into an office, just as you explained, for so long, and it's also negligence on their part for not being aware for that period.
That is what I said, that there are insiders.
Yes.
You know, people insiders try to sabotage.
They work in isolation.
Yes.
There are people who are connected in this business. I read one write-up in social media where somebody was alleging that who's supposed to have a vital information about this fake agency was murdered in the hotel. Yes, I read it from a verified page on X. He analyzed the situation and mentioned the name of the person, that the person was murdered, that if the government went to know what happened, they first of all investigate what led to the death of that young man.
Because the man has information.
Yes, that the man has information. How does this agency come in existence?
That's crazy.
That the man was murdered in the hotel. That is to tell you that there are cabal who are interested. Even if we look at, like what they said, if we look at, they call them high talks club. You know, when issue is on like this, you watch them, they analyze some of the issue. One of them was making remarks yesterday that if you look at some of the agencies that we are seeing, or even invisible agency that they use in siphoning federal funds, you know that these are just one of them. There are a lot of agency, people who are like, let me use that word, people who prepares the budget. Budget office have to be responsible for this situation too, because there is no way you can skate through budgetary office without you being invited by the Senate. The Senate will question you. What are you doing with this fund? If they allocate this fund to your office, what will you do with it? So we have a capital project of 300 million, budgeted for 300 million. We have for payment of staff and running costs of 800 and something million. And we have for logistics and all of that for 200, traveling and all of that for 200 million, amounting to 1 point something billion allocated to that agency. Now, who draw this budget? How did this budget come about? And when the Senate met with the young man, who wrote the letter that, oh, this agency should be invited for questioning? These are the things we are talking about. There are people who allocated the office to you. So there are people who are involved. Maybe the federal government is trying to heal the nay and the hurt first before they cannot bring the people who are around. Yes, that is what actually see in this.
Yeah, for me, I just feel that since this has been brought into the limelight, they should also follow us, carry us along through the investigation.
Very important.
Process.
Very important, because if you look at how some of these issues have been made, the media are the center of this whole issue.
Yeah.
They are the one who, if the spokesman to the president, whenever I release, we will see them in media spaces. So if the federal government are actually doing a proper investigation, the media should know what is happening. The public should be aware that, oh, this is who is involved, this man is involved, this man is involved, not just the DG alone. What are the people who are working? I listened to one of the conversations from two of the three staffs from the that agency. One of them is auditor of the agency. One of them is the accountant, assistant accountant, three of them. So when they were asked, why were you deployed to this office? He said that they received letter that you should go to social agency and resume. And when they resumed, he said three of them was even in an open space. That the office was not demarcated. Three of them was in an open place and they were working hand in hand. So they were asked, how did you receive your salary? He said they received their normal salaries. So if people are being paid for working for fake agency, that is to say most of the contractors we are paying are not real contractors. So we will not go into that now. Let's focus on how we will get to the bottom part of this situation.
Yeah. Okay, moving on Punch newspaper, petrol, of course, something that is important to literally every home today. And this one says marketers push 800 naira per litre petrol, seek import licenses. And it goes further to say independent petroleum marketers on Monday pushed for the restoration of importation rights and projected that the pump price of premium motor spirit, popularly called petrol, could fall below 800 per litre as the federal government intensifies efforts to force down the cost of petrol. Now, the development came as the federal government met with major operators in the downstream petroleum sector, including representatives of the Dangote Petroleum Refinery, over what it described as the discount between falling global crude oil prices and the relative high pump price of petrol in the domestic markets. 800 naira.
Yes.
That's what they're agitating for.
Yeah.
But currently, at the the Dangote Refinery recently reduced its S-Depo petrol price to 1,075 naira.
Yeah.
And that's why when you go around
fuel stations
in Asaba here, you see 1,200,
1,250.
Right, 1,200.
Depending on the
121, 1,250.
Yeah, but is it even right that they are selling at different prices? There's no synergy.
Well, Dangote reduced to 1,000, zero, whatever. They should also reduce the
Yes.
Sell for 1,000.
Yes.
Dangote's own be lower than
one of the challenges. One of the challenges we are having in this oil and gas sector is issue of regulation.
Okay.
That is one of the challenges we are having. You see, some of the task force that are being set up either by the state government or the federal government to checkmate the regulation of the prices of per liters in fuel stations. Majority of these people are working with the fuel stations owners. You see, they will tell them, how much are you selling? So I'm selling for 220. It's okay. You are supposed to sell for 215, for instance. Okay, how much? You will give all this and so this. That is one of the challenges we are facing, the issue of regulation. If they can regulate the price that, okay, let's have a benchmark for this price of fuel. In Lagos, for instance, we are selling, because of the population and the industrialization of Lagos State, we are selling for 500 naira, for instance. Let it remain there. In Delta State, especially in Asaba, where we have majority of civil servants, we don't have industries here. Or because of the low income earner, we are selling for 450. Let it remain there. Let's have a benchmark, because if this fuel station is selling 1,250, the other one is selling 1,200. You see that the citizen, most of the people who are in this side may not be able to afford. These ones they are affording it. So it's a conflicting issue. And federal government should look into this. Very important issue of regulation, because if we can be able to regulate the prices of fuel and we can be able to say, okay, give our license to people to import. You will see that this will go drop drastically. I love what the marketers are doing, that if they are allowed to import fuel, the price will crash to 800 naira. They should allow them to import. But one of the things we have found out that most of these business tagoons we have in this nation, sometimes they try to bring something in surface that they are trying to help our citizens. Why they are the one killing us? If they are made Dangote as a monopoly of petroleum in Nigeria, for instance, it determines the price that they will fix. It can say, okay, today I'm fixing for 1,000 naira, tomorrow is 1,050 naira. Nobody will ask me a question because he's the only one who have the right to do what to say. So they should not allow any company owners to monopolize a particular product. Let them be open. Any marketers who have the resources to import, if we give him license, if you pass the due processes, there are processes before you are given a license to import petrol into the country. So if you pass the process, allow them to import. When we have different marketers who are ready to sell, you see that the price will go down. The issue of monopoly is one of the challenges. You look at somebody who tell you that now we have only two major companies who are selling cement. You have Dangote and Boa, and these people will be in UK enjoying their life. I'm not saying that the businessman should not travel, but what we are saying is that if these people are aware of the plight of the citizens, they may not be aware, because what they are there is to regulate and see how, okay, this is opportunity for me to make a good money. People is in high demand, and we are no more supplying it. That is one of the challenges. If it's the open business, you see many people are into the production of cement, the price will fall. But by the time you are giving license to just two companies to produce, the other one said, okay, look, you will sell for so amount. Why we sell so amount? In order for the citizens not to look at that we are in the same benchmark. Because if you look at it, sometimes Dangote will be selling for 11,000, Boa will be selling for 12,000, Dangote will be selling for 12,000, Boa will tell you, look at it. So how can a civil servant who is earning 75,000 naira be able to afford cement to build house? So now we are not even after building of house, we are even after surviving. We can survive. And if after many years Nigerians are talking about how I can eat and survive. Somebody was saying yesterday from that club, I love that club so much, I was contacting them that if I can be part of them. There was analyzing some issues that in the Western world, if you receive $500 or $2,000 per month, you can be able to say, okay, in next 3, 4, 5 months, I want to buy something of $3,000. Because your income is constant, you can be able to say, okay, I want to be saving. You pay your light bill, you pay your electricity bill, you pay everything. You still have like $1,000, you save $800. Before you do it for 3 months, you can be able to do it. But in Nigeria, for instance, you can't do it because tomorrow you hear that bag of rice that you are buying for 2,000 naira is now sold for 15,000. Now you deploy your resources to that, you cannot be able to meet up with your savings. So Nigerians, we don't have plan. They say we don't plan because we don't have, even the federal government, even the government don't plan for the citizen.
And the law of gravity does not work. It hardly works. Anything that goes up,
we never return down. So it is important that the federal government allow the marketers, give our license to them. We are not saying make it porous, but what we are saying is that let them be a process, a due process of issuing license for marketers to import fuel. If we are selling, for instance, 800 naira per liter, it is a encouraging price. Maybe from there, gradually we will get to. Now, before Jonathan's administration, there was a protest during Jonathan's administration for we to sell fuel for 174 naira. But today, we are buying fuel even close to 1,300. Nobody is saying anything. If you ask them, they will tell you that it's national, is a global issue. Yeah, we understand that it's a global issue. But now that the America and the Iran have signed a peace deal, is it still affecting us? So please, the federal government should allow people who are ready to go into that industry, especially in the importation of fuel, so that we can be able to do what? Have a low price, so that the common citizen can put 2 liters. When you return from work, you look at, you have 3,000 naira, okay, Jerina, go and buy 2 liters and put in it so that I can receive funds and charge my gadget, listen to news and see what is happening
in the country.
To know if they said, okay, Asaba, please flee to Ugbelu, you can now flee to Ugbelu. If there is no fuel, your phone is not charged. Maybe your auntie is calling you that there is war in Okpanamu, you are not aware. Your battery is that you will be in your heart. So please, the federal government should allow those who are ready to import fuel, give them license, give them a target that let the price crash to 800 naira. So that
And
the
then
common man
I also know that if the price comes really down, it's going to help businesses as
yes,
well.
yes, very important.
Yes, it's going to help
It's going to help.
businesses. Yes.
It's going to help our businesses. Like majority of our business depends in electricity.
Very true.
Do you know before now, you go to Cyber Cafe to print a document, you either print the document 20 naira per a
Now
copy.
it's 100
Now
naira.
it's 100 naira.
Crazy.
And some of them will tell you that if you went to print color, it's 200 naira. While
Yeah.
black and white is 100 naira. Well, I'm currently doing my PhD now. I have a document, I have a paper to present within my coursemate. So I look at it, 170 something page. I say, Okponko, how will I pay 170 just to talk to us and all of that? I told them that I will share this in a soft copy, so that if I say page 1, you look at it and say, okay, if you want to print your own, go and print, because why the price is very high.
Yes.
So what we are saying is that if we can get light, recently I must also say, because when you see what they are doing good, you say it. When you see the bad, you also say, yeah, we started having like, I was said, somebody was my saloon guy, the guy that normally cut my hair, was saying, Chairman, we don't get light. I think the state government is doing what, say what they are doing, well, that if they can sustain this electricity, you see that even the fuel, some of the fuel station will try to reduce their price. Why? Because they see that the people who are coming are buying for vehicle. Now, for instance, I buy for my office, I buy for my house, I buy for my car. You are now spending not less than 50,000-70,000 per week.
Yes.
To purchase.
And
fuel.
if you had a business center, you also buy for your business center.
So if we have constant like 8, 9, 10, 12 hours per day, maybe especially during that business hour, that is what we are agitating for. Yeah, not just night.
Right.
Fine, it's good at night. No. The business hour is very important to the citizen. Very, very important. Because if you can be able to sustain your business throughout the day and you make a profit, that money you are supposed to use in purchasing fuel for your business, because your business run more than your house.
Right.
I purchase 10,000 naira for my house every day. But in my business place, I buy 15,000. Why? Because the hours you are going to run for your office between that 8 o'clock to 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock that you are closing is more than the hour you run in your house. Once it's 12, you say, Abeg, get man, go and lock off that gen, let's sleep so that we can hear what is happening around. So it is important that they allow this light to be sustained in the afternoon, while in the evening, probably they can give up to 10, 11. They can, so that we can reduce the cost of
okay, so you talked about Asaba, and then we're still talking about light. You stay in Asaba.
Yes.
So I think we should just address this, even though it looks like we're deviating, but I think we should address this. Now, we talked about a lot of people running generators in their place of business, you know. But what do we now say about the increment of house rent, where a landlord sees that it looks like your business is thriving this year, and the next year he gives you 100% increment. Now, it's not even just about business places, even residentials too are suffering it. And unfortunately, even though we might want to say Asaba, it's not just in Asaba, it's also the same thing in Lagos.
Yes, even in Asaba, where I come from, yes,
it's not just in the city. So at the end of the day, don't you think that it's not enough to blame the government? We as individuals as well, we're also making life difficult for our fellow neighbor.
Yes, you are right. You are right. It will interest you also to know that I own a real estate company.
Okay.
I'm the CEO of Patrick Property too.
Okay.
I'm not just a publisher. And we have a series of meetings with the Commissioner of Housing.
Okay.
Yes, and we are trying to see how we can regulate the house rent. We have been invited for public hearing. The bill was moved by our mother, the representative of Oshimiri South.
Okay.
Yes, Bridget, that there is a need for the state government to regulate the prices, the increase of house rent, especially within the Asaba monopoly and the other neighboring communities. So we are invited, we met with the commissioner. Thereafter, the House of Assembly Committee invited us for public hearing, where we end our view. And one of the things we emphasize on is that most of these challenges of increment of house rent are not emanating from the landlords. Some of them are emanating from the tables of the lawyer to that particular man and the agent involved. I can remember vividly when I have a friend, she works in FNC, so she called me and said, "Oh man, I just gained employment in FNC. Oh, please, oh, can you help me look for where accommodation, where to stay?"
Yeah.
So I told her that my company is not into renting; we are just into buying and selling. So he said, "Okay, that please, I should look for somebody to help her." So I contacted one of my friends who I know that is also into renting. He gave me number of a young lady. So I contacted her. She said, "Okay, let's meet so place." That is McDonald's. So I went to meet her in McDonald's that particular day. I was sitting in the front of my vehicle. My manager was driving me while one of my staff was behind with the lady and one other boy. Now they claim that the boy is in charge of the house. So I asked them, how much is this property before we waste our fuel, waste our time to go and check because they sent us the video. She said, well, for now it's 1.3 million, but we don't know if the lawyer will increase it. We don't know. Let us get there first.
Lawyer that doesn't own the house.
Own the house. So during that process, after that question, the young lady was chatting with the lawyer. She did not know that my staff was watching her conversation. She told the lawyer that these people are not small people.
They have money.
That they should add 200 on top. Let's add 200. The lawyer said, "Are you sure?"
Probably will get from the 200.
Yes. My staff was telling me. He said the lawyer asked, "Are you sure? The house have been there for 3 months now. Nobody to rent to. Are you sure?" He said, "Yes, I'm sure. I'm sure." His medical doctor that went to take the house. So when we get to the place, I saw the accommodation and I saw the environment. It was not conducive for medical doctor to stay. Though it's a beautiful house though, because I saw the people there and I went to secure the interest of that particular lady. I'm very interested of her. So I said, okay, no, here will not be conducive for you to stay because I saw some bad boys are in the compound. I said, no, you will not stay. So the lady was, who can try to convince her because of that conversation she have already had with the lawyer. So when we came back, my son was telling me, oh man, this word there. I said, what's going on? So he was narrating the story. So to cut the long story short, what we suggested for the state government to do is to ensure that whoever that is increasing the rent must renovate to the standard of how much you are increasing.
Oh, right.
That is one of the suggestions.
Right.
Before you increase your house, if your house, for instance, have a old sink in the bathroom, you must change it to the latest one before you increase. If the kitchen cabinet is 40, before you increase, you must change the kitchen cabinet.
Is it
No,
bad?
that is what we suggest they will do it. They are on it. They are working on it. They are working on it. You can find out from the state, the House of Assembly. They are working on it seriously. Now, we also suggested that if you are not a registered agent backed by that association of realtors in Delta State, you have no right to look for house for people. And before you do that, you must have an ID card to signify that you are a member of this association. You said, okay, you want to show me house, please, can I see your ID card? Because they want to make it publicly for the people, the general public to be aware.
Not just anybody,
because that is one of the challenge. I was bidding for a property for a friend of mine. She works with the Ministry of Works. She's a very serious lady. She told me that she went to buy a house. She saw the house on my post and she said she want to buy a house. I said, okay. They put the house, very distressing, for 55 million. But the person told me that if they see 50 million, they will sell because the owner of the house had an issue overseas. So we invite the lady. Before we get there, one of the agents that is in charge of the property, that forward the property, told me, pathway, if this your person have capacity, let's put 3 million on top. I say, come.
Wow.
You can't do that nonsense with me. Not that I don't like money, I like money. Yes, honest. But I want to be prudent in what I'm doing. Because if you pay 53 million, for instance, because we later sold the property for 50 million. If you pay 53 million, for instance, and you have a kickback of 3 million, she pay your commission, and you have a kickback of 3 million. Tomorrow, if she mobilize to site, and that property, maybe issue comes on board later, and she find out that it was actually 50 million. that the owner received, and I sold it for 53 million. I received 3 million. She will never trust me again.
Yeah.
I told the young man, I'm not just in this business only to make money. I'm in this business to also build a legacy. That when people say, okay, I contact Pathway Property, I have people that are buying property that are overseas. They don't even know me.
Yeah.
Maybe through my prayer group, they will recommend.
Okay, well, not to drag this issue.
Yes.
Now you've talked about agents, and you've talked about lawyers, but I will let you know that landlords are also at fault. A few days ago, a friend of mine made a video on social media, and she was lamenting in tears. According to her, the compound, she got a duplex for her sewing business and paid 2.5 million naira. That was the agreement.
Yeah.
And I think the landlord says it's the compound. So I think because he saw that the business was thriving and celebrities come there, this year he told her that the house rent has gone up to 5 million naira.
100%.
From 100%, from
Yes,
2.5 to 5 million naira. And she said since she got into the house, she has not seen light. She has been using both gen and solar to do that. So now, and then she said that the man said if she cannot pay 1 million, he's giving her 1 month to move out of the property. Is there any law protecting the
tenant?
Tenants?
Yes, yeah, we have. That is what.
In what people are
Yes.
What we are protesting is that you cannot give emergency quick notice.
Okay.
That if you have to give quick notice, it should be on the ground that the tenant have default in her payment or his or her payment.
What if you want to make it?
That's
Now,
the previous payment.
yes, it must be 1 year. We are proposing for 1 year. Previously, it was 6 months.
Okay.
It must be 6 months notice ahead.
Okay.
Okay, if somebody should give you a quick notice now, you have that 6 months is free. But some landlord says, okay, pay for 6 months. You remain for 6 months and look for. But that 6 months before you leave, my aunt in Lagos, she have a problem like this. She have a tenant in her house. So after our investigation, we find out that she is wrong. You went to increase rent. Tell the people in your house that you went to increase rent. Maybe they have the resources, they can pay rather than they looking for house. So what am I saying is that before you give quick notice, it must be 1 year ahead. That now you are paying your rent for this year. Next year, don't renew. So the tenant have 1 year to plan his or her life, rather than 6 months. Because of our current economic hardship, you cannot just push people away. That is why I don't manage.
But this bill has not been passed.
No, it has not been passed.
Okay.
It's on that process.
So what's the bill at the moment? 6 months.
6 months.
Okay.
The bill at the moment is 6 months.
Okay.
That is the law. Yes, that is the
Okay.
law. Agreement between the tenant and the landlord.
Okay.
It gives you 6 months notice, unpaid for. You will not pay for it. It's a free. You stay for the 6 months. That 6 months will enable you to adjust and look for other place to stay. So I was telling somebody, I said, I don't have that feeling. I don't have that mind to inject tenants out of the house.
Integrity is at stake.
Yes, that is why I don't rent. If you call me for, okay, come and manage this house, so I'll try and dive you. So that I'm busy. Why? Because that conscience, God said one of the things God provide for human being is shelter, clothing, and food.
Yeah.
So if because God has given you opportunity, I'm not a pastor, but my parents are my father is a resident pastor of Messiah Baptist Church in Uganda.
Okay.
So if God give you that money to build a house, and because of payment and all of that, you inject somebody out, and you see some tenant, they will pack their load outside or uncompleted building. They will not leave the area for a while and start go and hustle. They will suffer, borrow before they will rent a house. That process, you are telling God that you are the owner of that resources, because whether you like it or not, whatever we have today, all belongs to what? All belongs to God.
Yeah.
So we are praying that the state government will fast track look. I must commend the Commissioner of Housing.
Okay.
Yes, the reason is that when we have meeting with him, he laughed. He was like, man, you guys, I think you guys are taking in the same direction. He moved down to what is it called? No, McDonald's, because that is where you have majority of the agents that will tell you yes, headquarters. But thank God now McDonald's are actually, they are pushing them away now.
Yes.
They are now in Haunting. That is why you have that bad agent. They know that you will not like this house. But because they need that their inspection fee, they will tell, I have it, oh good. I say send picture, send video, let me see if he tell you no, we don't have the video. The owner said he don't want to make it the public that he has it.
Or you pay consultation fee.
Yes, they'll just take you to house. They don't. One took me around that process of looking for the house for that doctor. It took me to Ifan Jesus. That house is in a swamp. Rainy season like this,
it's going to be a mess.
Yeah, they will leave. Everybody will leave. The dry season, they will come. They will return back again. Back for good. So it took me there. I saw the house. He's not aware that I'm into the business too.
Yeah.
It took me there. After seeing it, I said, how can you bring me into this? And I told you that he's a medical doctor. How can somebody that have suffered for more than 10 years say you're not going to sleep here till daybreak? He said, okay, there is no other house. I said, okay, let's go. He said, my consultation fee. I said, if I slap you, you don't know me. If I slap you, you know that this house is not good for somebody to stay. And because you need that, your inspection fee of 5,000 naira, you want to bring me here and take 5,000 naira. I said, I'm not paying 1 naira. You want us to fight? I said, no, it's okay. I will only take you back to Mangdon and drop you there. I will leave. I will not give you 1 naira. The guy said, bros, not be so. I said, okay, take my card. Read what is inside my card. You find out that I'm still inside the property. That is how we settle that man. Anytime the young man sees me, he will just come out his face. So what we are saying is that, yes, many of them are evil. Yeah. So we are praying that the state government fast track the bill to protect the interests of the tenant.
Yes.
Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure, listening to your great analysis.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. The CEO Pathway Newspapers.
Thank you so much for coming.
Pathway Real Estate Properties.
It's been a delight speaking with you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
It's a wrap from us. Thank you so much for riding with us on Tuesday's edition of Morning Ride from Cheesy.
Right, for me, today, 7th of July, is World Forgiveness Day, Global Forgiveness Day. Forgive yourself, forgive somebody, and just let it go. Thank you so much for riding with us on Tuesday's edition of Morning Ride. I'm Cheesy Awuno. Good morning.
On behalf of the crew, it is bye.
Bye.